Be a goal kick. So we're going to send it down to the third member of our team, Mary-Kate Hamilton.
Thanks, guys. Earlier this week, Coach Todd Yeagley said that defense is the key component in every NCAA tournament, and if that's the case, then it's probably a good sign for the Hoosiers. Indiana's defense was perhaps the most talked about in the country this year, and at one point they boasted 966 straight minutes of play with no goals allowed. IU has multiple freshmen that have made an impact in the regular season this year, and he said that this is actually a good thing moving into the postseason. He said these players are able to come into these games with no preconceived notions, and they're even able to help calm the nerves of some of the older players on the team. On the other hand, New Hampshire has a relatively mature team, so we'll see how this juxtaposition plays out in the game here tonight. Now, back to you guys.
Down to Mary-Kate Hamilton on the sideline.
Thanks, Jacob. As you said, we are here at Jerry Yeagley Field for the round of 16 in the NCAA tournament. The Hoosiers have not advanced past this round since 2012, when they went on to win the entire thing. The Hoosiers were defeated at this point last season by an unranked team, so even though New Hampshire is unranked, they will definitely not be underestimated here tonight. The NCAA tournament often falls on Thanksgiving break, and while many teams send their players home to celebrate the holiday with their families, the Hoosiers have a long-standing tradition of having turkey in the tutor room. Coach Yeagley said that he has been participating in this tradition since he was a kid, and it really speaks to the closeness of this team. We've seen the chemistry out on the pitch here tonight, and it'll be interesting to see how it continues to affect the game and even the rest of the postseason if the Hoosiers are able to move on after tonight. Now back to you guys. Thanks, guys. Senior Freddie McSwain is ready to make more of an impact on the team this year after sustaining an injury early last season. When asked in a press conference yesterday what his individual goals for this season are, he said that this year it's not about himself and that this season it's all about the team. It'll be great to see this strong team mentality play out for the rest of the season. Now back to you guys.
Thank you.
For a little bit more on that, let's throw it to the third member of our crew, Mary-Kate Hamilton.
Thanks, David. As you said, we are here at Bart Kaufman Field for the second game in this three-game rivalry series. And yesterday, Purdue was able to get their first ever win here at Bart Kaufman Field. Now, sophomore Hoosier Matt Gorski said that they want to establish themselves as the best team in Indiana. But, of course, before they do that, they're going to have to prove themselves here today and tomorrow against the Boilermakers. So we'll see what they can do. Now back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Mary-Kate.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Coach Yeagley. Coach, obviously a lot of physicality in the first half. I could hear a little bit of frustration coming off of the sidelines. How well do you think the team has responded, and what do they need to do in the second half to respond to this level of play?
Grant Lillard.
Thanks, guys. As you said, I'm here with senior captain Grant Lillard. Grant, you've been on this team for 4 years, but it is going to be your first time going into the round of 8 in this NCAA tournament. How are you feeling?
Amazing. It's an unbelievable feeling. Getting a result like this, taking this one out, wasn't our best performance overall as a team, but you know, in the tournament like this, sometimes you got to find a way to get a result and move on to the next round.
You said it wasn't your best performance. Of course, moving on into the postseason, every single game could be your last game. What does this team need to do to continue to make their run as long as possible?
We're a confident group. This shows that we can grind a game out like this when we didn't play our best and still get the result. We're just going to go back to work and keep getting prepared for the next game, and we're going to keep marching on in the tournament.
And finally, Grant, as a captain, what's one piece of advice that you're going to give the younger guys on this team moving into the postseason?
Just to stay focused, enjoy the accomplishments we've had so far, but no, we're not done. So we got another week to prepare and get ready for the next game. So it's really just take it day by day and make sure the body's right and getting ready for the next game.
All right, thank you so much, Grant. Thanks, guys. As you said, I'm here with Coach Yeagley. Coach, in the regular season, this team has been pretty confident with a 1-0 lead that not much is going to get past this defensive line. How comfortable do you feel with where the game is standing right now?
Well, I think we can play like we did the first 20. I feel a lot more comfortable. Last 20-some minutes that half wasn't very good on our end, and you know, we kind of readdressed things and got things organized at half, and the guys knew it. We just had to be better in our decision-making, better passing, and pick and choose when we go forward. This team's a pretty good possession-oriented team, and they had a little bit in the second part of that first half, so really just taking care of the ball better is really our best defense.
Moving into the second half, what does this team need to do to ensure that this game ends in regulation and ends in a win for the Hoosiers?
Just keep on the small details. I mean, nothing drastic. We know where the space is in this team. We know we can get around them. They're very tight in that diamond, so we just got to find those spaces and take our chances well.
All right, thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Flint, this is the first time all year that the Hoosiers have played an opponent that is not themselves. How do you think they're dealing with the competition so far?
Okay, it's okay. Gave up some threes. Got to finish some plays on offense. Gave up a couple of easy backs for them, but I thought as the game went along, I thought we played very good defensively, made them work. Now we just got to finish some plays around the basket. So,
What do you think the team has to learn from these exhibition games before going into the regular season?
I mean, everything is new to the guys, so just getting used to the system, some of the things we're asking them to do. So, as long as we do that and we continually get better, we'll be okay.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks, guys. I'm here with Devontae Green. Devontae, congrats on the win. How does it feel to have one victory under your belt?
It feels good. Start of the season, new team, new coach. Same team, new coach, but it always feels good to get a win.
As you said, new coach, how do you think the team has adjusted to all of the changes this season?
I think we're coming along real good. Practice, we're working hard, we're learning, we're coming along good.
And what do you think you guys are going to take away from this exhibition game moving into your regular season?
We just got to keep improving. We're going to look over the film, look at what we can work on, and just get better, ready for the next one.
All right, thanks so much, Devontae.
Thank you.
The Hoosiers continue their homestand this weekend in Game 2 of a 4-game stretch when they host Rutgers on Saturday at 1 o'clock at Simon Scott Assembly Hall. Let's take a look at IU baseball by the numbers for this year. Out of the 7 starting pitchers used last season across all games, all 7 of them will be returning for the 2018 season. And this level of experience is definitely a good sign for this year's squad. Last season, Paulie Milto stepped onto the scene, pitching 78 innings and racking up 6 wins to go with 3 losses, earning himself the best pitching record on the team. Trailing right behind him was Jonathan Stever, who came into last year as a sophomore and worked his way into his spot as the Friday night starter, starting 14 games, the most out of all of the pitchers last season. Also worth noting are Tim Herron and Cal Kruger, who started 8 and 6 games respectively. Kruger struck out 37 batters last season, while Herron struck out 38, and Kruger held on to an impressive earned run average of 2.82, the second best on the team, falling only to current junior Matt Lloyd, who earned a preseason second-team All-American nod from the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association. Last year, the Hoosiers were 34-24-2 on the season overall, 14-9-1 in conference play, and 20-15-1 in non-conference matchups. Reserve season tickets for Bart Kaufman Field are already sold out, and the excitement continues to build for this team as the season approaches 5. Now, it was a close game down the stretch, but here we see Kelly Olynyk with the steal, and this would tie, but Thaddeus Young with the denial. And this is worth another look. It's an epic rejection. This game goes into overtime with the Pacers up 3 with a minute to go, and Oladipo beats the shot clock with a triple. That's the dagger. He does the "This is my city" point, and the Indianapolis fans just go crazy. Indiana clinches a playoff spot with a final score of 113-107. Now transitioning into Bloomington after beating in-state rival Purdue on Thursday to advance to the NIT, the Hoosier women look to keep their season rolling, eyeing a trip to the Final Four tonight. Hosting UC Davis at Assembly Hall, Tyra Buss finishes the break with the layup right there. Then, of course, it's Buss with the sweet dish to Kim Royster for the layup, and they have been quite the duo this season. Later, Buss misses the three-pointer, but of course, it's Amanda Cahill there with the putback as she is fouled. It was 24 points for Cahill and 30 for Buss, and IU wins 81-66. Next up, the Cream and Crimson will face TCU in the semifinals on Wednesday at home at Assembly Hall. We'll talk to you next time for IU Sports Media. I'm Mary-Kate Hamilton.
But before we move on, let's toss it to Mary-Kate Hamilton for a brief history segment on the tournament. Mary-Kate?
Thanks, Michael. Of course, with Selection Sunday nearly upon us, we're all looking ahead to this year's tournament. But before that, I thought I would take you all the way back to March 27th, 1939, the day Selection Sunday was born and the NCAA tournament was made. That's right, 79 years ago, the University of Oregon defeated the Ohio State University 46-33 to win the first ever NCAA men's basketball tournament. For the first 12 years of the tournament, only 8 teams were invited to compete for the title. But over time, the number eventually grew to the 68-team format currently in place. The popularity of the tournament has grown exponentially from when it was first televised in 1969 to the March Madness frenzy we know today. In 2017, around 70 million NCAA brackets were filled out, with Americans risking an average of $29 per bracket, contributing to the estimated $10.4 billion bet on the tournament last year, according to the American Gaming Association. And as you start to fill out those brackets for this year, here's some historical perspective to keep in mind. UCLA has the most national titles since the tournament's founding with 11. The University of Kentucky is second with 8. The University of North Carolina trails right behind with 6. And of course, our very own Indiana is tied with Duke for 4th place with 5 national titles each. We'll see if history repeats itself this year. Now back to you guys.
And Austin, you have been covering this team all season. You know them almost better than anybody else. What can you say has contributed to their recent improvement at the end of this season?
Well, it's been continuity for this team.